Good morning to you traders. Who's ready to keep trading the market? Today, a triple witch day, of course, as you'll get option expiration out there. And I'm looking to see, does FedEx give us the insight that the market is heading on the downside? Well, there's really only one way to find out. You got to stay tuned to the live trading action. Let's kick things off with, of course, our playbook as we take a look at what's going on in the market. Where are some plays that we can be watching today? Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. All right, playbook one. Let's take a look at this. We'll see what's going on at this XLF. I'll be watching to see what happens here. As we, of course, got the conversation yesterday, and you saw a lot of talk about what? It was saying focus on the dot plot. And that's what I was telling you guys to take a look at. And you can see what? That the down is actually expected, that the interest rates are expected to come down at a faster pace than any of us expected. And so what does that tell me is that the banks are going to be pretty much losing the interest income there and starting to lose revenue. And I think that this is something that we need to be thinking about because as, of course, the turn starts to happen and the rate cycle starts to happen, a lot of the times banks are an area that don't make as much money. And this is something to think about because I also think that you're going to start to see what? You're going to start to see money taken out of these banks because the reason it was there was because it was getting a lot of risk-free money. And at this point, that's starting to turn. So I think you start to take a look to see if we get that downside continuation today. You can see the stocks have made kind of these little drops and pops lately. So drop here that we played. Then eventually Goldman Sachs dropped and did this. Then it came back and did this, right? So pretty much 1, 2, 3 times. If we can get back through, let's say 520, 530s, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll step out of this trade and I don't need to worry about things. But I'm looking for a turnaround in Goldman Sachs. I'm looking for a turnaround in Bank of America, in Wells Fargo, right? Citigroup, right? All names that I can be watching today. And this is more of a reactionary play. Look to see that the banks actually tell you that they're coming down, and then we can start to see a break. Look at where also technology is too. So I'm looking around to see a lot of things are at the resistance, and they could either break resistance or start to head back to support. Be careful out there, traders. Take a look here, guys, at Picard. This is one that we were just talking about earlier this week, looking for the move towards 100. And I do have this one on a swing trade, all full disclosure, right? I have this long already. Look at this, guys. Now we're making our move. Now we're starting to push here. Now I'll be looking to see if we can clear 100 and start working our way back towards this trend line, which is that 106. And what was the sign for this? It was looking for deer through 400. And look at it. Now we're towards 408, 409 on deer and starting to climb. Take a look at CAT. CAT's out the hat, guys. Big rip there towards 372, back towards the upside. So these industrial plays are going to start looking better. And look at the XLI. Nice little push, right? So even the short that I was short on Boeing, this has actually turned things kind of, mixed noise here. But look at Boeing now starting to make a move down today, this morning. Look to see if this can continue down. I actually took the money off this at the 157 on this Wednesday. And now you can see the continuation. Maybe Boeing can keep crashing back down towards that 150 and 140s. But I'll be watching to see what happens on Lockheed Martin because Lockheed Martin has recently made a big run. So if the industrials want to stay strong, the XLI, well, I don't want to see these collapse. I want to just see them hold up, still go sideways, or if anything, make another run to the upside. Let's get to the third one here as we take a look at SOXS. As SOXS will be in play today, as we start to see a little bit of some declining action, we'll see if we actually get a full move down, right? I think right now everyone's starting to bet towards the upside, and that's just as easy as it could go, right? The flip of psychology. And we'll talk a little bit more about it, but I even caught conversations from Tom Lee that make me a little bit weary on the upside of things and more alert to look for downside. And we all got to remember that we're in the toughest seasonality spot in the whole year is these 2 weeks at the end of September. We'll see if we get some downside leak today. Looking for a pop back above 2250s here. A cut down below 22s out the gates, and then a recovery there will be something that I'll be on the watch for. We'll see what happens with these plays. Like always, you guys can keep up with the action on the live trading side of things, but something definitely to take a look at, right? All right, well, today we're also going to be taking a look at different stocks out there. We'll start talking to look at what's going on. I am in a smaller play right now. We can take a look at that action. We're going to do a little bit of a quick kind of sunrise report. Really lately, things haven't really been moving too much, but I do got some things that I still want to cover here. Let's go taking a look to see what's going on today. We'll take a look at the Tom Lee comments that I caught that I think are very important. We'll take a look at FedEx, and we'll talk about a little bit about Nike. And then there's CEG that's doing a trade that I've been talking about right here. But what do you got to do? Stick around and check out the sunrise report. All right, let's get to the action here, guys. We'll take a look at the action here. And as we go ahead and we take a look at Stocks S coming down a little bit, and you guys see I am down a little bit here, this TNON. I'm still keeping a really close eye on this as I have been up multiple times, like close to $80 on the upside. So just taking a look to see if this is going to pop through 7, but that's just on the sideline. I always like to tell you guys what I'm in before I tell you guys it later when it's in the green, right? Well, it's actually in the red right now. We'll see what happens on that TNON. This is one trade that I have on, but let's get to the sunrise. Let's start talking about what's going on out there. First look is into the SPY and what's going on in the SPY. Right now, we're starting to climb back, but this morning we're dropping a little bit here early on. And so what we need to be asking right now is what happens now towards the end of the year? So Tom Lee's Fund Strat Global Advisors isn't sold on the recent stock market rally following the Fed's interest rate cut, despite the S&P's 500 and the Dow Jones hitting fresh records after a surprise half-a-point rate cut. Lee warns that the uncertainty, and especially around the upcoming presidential election, could dampen the market's upward momentum. And I think that's exactly what happens here, is that maybe after the election, things look a lot better. But right now, I wouldn't be betting so much to the upside. But of course, that's always up to you guys, and something that we need to be keeping a very, very close eye on. Let's go to FedEx here, as this is another reason why I'm a little bit concerned. And we'll see what happens if this can shake the concern this morning. But you see FedEx down big, right? As FedEx shares are under pressure after missing both on revenues and earning expectation. The company also lowered its full-year revenue and EPS guidance, citing a challenging quarter. And this is just concern because FedEx is a lot of the time viewed as a bellwether for the economy overall. And this just goes to show you, it isn't looking good at FedEx. Isn't it maybe a possibility that it isn't looking good elsewhere also? So you got to keep your eyes at this. This is not a good sign. UPS also down big on this, of course. And we're going to look to see if we get continued leak towards the bell. Nike with some news out there, as you see Nike getting a little lift here as there's a leadership change, right? CEO. John Donahoe is stepping down and replaced by a company veteran, Elliott Hill. Nike stock surged 8% on the news, though the company has been struggling with falling sales and a pivot from its direct-to-consumer strategy, which I think is the number one move that they shouldn't go away from. They should stick to that direct-to-consumer strategy. The number one thing that I see, at least in Nike, is that there's no innovation. Where's the innovation? Show me something, Nike. Bring me something that's better than others, right? And I think that that's the important thing. They got to the point where they would just start focusing on like collectibles and things like that. Give me a real shoe that's better than another, right? And go back to performance. Like I focus a lot on Nike basketball shoes, right? Like there's a lot of these like shoes that are just for show. I actually like Nike basketball shoes to actually play basketball in. So I want the shoe to actually have performance. And I haven't seen anything really come back out since the Hyperdunk days. But that's it for the Nike kind of enthusiast out there. We'll keep moving. Let's go to CEG. CEG definitely on the radar today, guys. We'll see what happens right now as this is already taking a lift there to 228. And this is a story that is something to watch as they signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with Microsoft, supporting the launch of the Crane Clean Energy Center and the restart of the 3 Mile Island Unit 1. And this is what I would say on this is that who has been talking about what? Nuclear reactors. You guys know it right here on Trade the Pool. You guys have been getting the information on what stock, NNE and SMR. But we've been talking about this theme overall and how smaller nuclear reactors are starting to be a focus in the technology space. So I'd say, hey, traders, are we maybe missing something here? Yeah, we're missing out on a nice trade here, a nice theme. So I'd be keeping a really close eye to see what happens here with these companies today. But CEG, nice little move there and could keep going today, right? There's no reason why this has to stop. I think today you could easily approach that 233 on the high on daily. And this really gives this company a really nice outlook as we're looking at a 20-year deal with Microsoft. Definitely something that's going to help them. So continue to watch these, and I'll be watching NNE. I'll be watching SMR. SMR already up there towards 10 and could break out right back above 10, going through the high here, and then starting to approach back towards 15. These are names that we've been talking about here for a while now, and we talked about it when NNE was just starting to get out of this 790 spot. Now we're starting to make the move towards 11. We'll look to see if this could push towards 12 today and maybe start to climb back. But like I've said, mentions of nuclear reactors is something definitely to catch. All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. Let's keep it going. Hello, how we doing out there, guys? Say hello, especially if you're new to the show. It's good to see some new traders out there. Jane, what's up? Vic, good to see also, of course, our loyal following here every single day, getting after the day. All right, guys. So right now I am going to go back into the live trading action. I got to go watch TNON. I might have to cut this position as I am down closer towards 100. Don't want to see it break the 60s. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's time to kick off towards our live trading action today. And you guys out there, do me the favor. Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe. And let's get things started. You guys know what time it is. It's time to kick off the live trading side of things and see what we come up with today. It's Trade the Pool. Hugo wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What's up out there, traders? How we doing? Who's taking a look into the market today? Let me know. What are you watching? What's your top play? Let's keep taking a look and let's keep pushing, baby. That's the only way to get after it. And I will tell you guys that we'll take a look a little bit into kind of the trading action and how things have been going as of late. We'll take a look at how I can get after this account too and keep pushing, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, there's only one way to make it in this life, and that's to keep on pushing. So we'll take a look also at my account status, and we'll take a look at how that's doing. I know that you guys have been asking more and more into my account, and I don't try to hide. I try to show you guys everything, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's talk about this TNON position. Let's go to the 5-minute chart because that's really how I was trading this. So one thing that I was clearly looking for was the MACD crossover, and I did get the MACD crossover here where we jumped towards 719. At one point, I was up a pretty substantial amount. When you think about it, from the 88s, I was up there closer to 30 cents on 400 shares. So probably about 120 on the plus side. So looking to see if this can go ahead and just bounce off of this. If it bounces, well, I'm still looking good. But if for any reason this starts to cross back over, that's where things get a little bit concerned and you can break down through the 50s. So we'll see what happens here on TNON. If I take a look at the hourly chart, we're kind of going sideways here and could make a push back through the 746, making a move to 8. And if you look at the hourly, I see big levels here to the left-hand side that eventually could go back towards, let's say, 983s. So I take a look at that and I say, well, it's going to be big dependent on what happens here. right now before the open, right? And so I got to see what happens if we're going to get a big push back towards 725 towards the gates. If not, I might just have to cut this position. So we'll see what happens here on TNON. Definitely not trying to lose more than that 650s. That would be a big cut down there. Of course, from 688, I got 400 shares. I did add to this position. I did add to it at like the 70s. So really wanted to keep it closer towards the 60s on the bid, but it's been spreading around. So you got to be a little bit careful. As you see it right now, from 63 to 74, up about 11-cent spread. All right. Also saw L fly. So we'll talk a little bit about that one. We'll see if this one finally gets a move. I didn't see anything happening on here. I was waiting for a crossover on the MACD. Nothing happened there. So just left it on the sideline there. BNZI was another one that I saw this morning, getting a quick lift here, guys. I saw this when it was first starting to move around like 4 or 5, and it made a nice move. It went up there to 9, but has been pulling back ever since that first pop, and that was at 5:15 in the morning. So now that you're already back here towards 5, we'll just get back up there. I'm not too confident in this one. We'll see what happens. We did get big moves yesterday that we need to keep an eye out for. We'll see what happens on those, but definitely saw the decline come in. Apple, though, ripping this morning, guys, 229 after this just shook to the upside. So something had to happen there, and I didn't catch it. But look at Apple, guys. We were trading this thing up the other day at kind of we were looking at this for a move to 222s, looking for a move back towards a resistance trend line. It hit that yesterday and even further now, starting to go towards the 230s. So, boy, I wish I would have been able to play that gap play, because that was an easy, nice 4% there in Apple. We'll look to see how things continue, but definitely big push there in the market. And look at Tesla, guys. Tesla, sound that alarm. Another win here for Money Mitch. I know that I didn't get this one on the swing trade, at least played it the right way. I will say that. But at least did I get the stock right, in the sense that we were looking for the gap fill when we were down here back at 220s, 225s. Started to talk about how this didn't go back here to the 210 when we were right here at this 216. This was the day that I started to first go for the long and look for the gap fill. And there it is, guys. We've been looking for this gap fill for a while now. I drew this on when? I drew this on September 5th, right? So ever since then, we've been looking to see if this would fill. And this is why I really love how TC tells you and clearly states there that I created this on September 5th, because it tells you how I'm not cherry picking, looking to see these plays kind of work out. And there you guys have it. Really nice play here on Tesla. So if you were able to nail that Tesla trade, shout out to you guys. And Money Mitch kind of screwed the pooch on this one. Yeah, just didn't get the right trade on, guys. Like, I kept getting stopped out in between the range. And the truth is that the range on this thing, and we can use the average true range, right? We can see here on the daily, right, how much this was moving. And this was moving easily over here, $10, $11, right? And so what does that tell me? Is that I needed to find a way to kind of risk more than that, like 15 or 20 points. That is very hard, guys. I'll be honest. So if you didn't get this trade and you got stopped out like I did, hey, that's another reason why. And another reason why we can use average true range to tell us how much we potentially should be risking on a trade, right? Especially a swing trade. So things to think about, guys. Definitely smash the like if you guys enjoy this information. And let's take a look around to see what else is trading and what else we can find today, guys. I'm going to be looking around the market all around. We'll see what we can come up with. All right, let me go ahead and pull this back. I need to go and keep a very close eye on this TNON as it starts to come back into the 60s and the 50s. So let me just watch this, ready to cut it out if I need to, because the truth is we can make another trade, right? Don't try to play here on just one trade. We can always bounce back. So if this goes back down through that like 655, 654s, I'm ready to get out, guys. I'm just looking at it really closely to make sure that I get out when needed. All right, so I will have this already ready to go at like 650s just in case I need to go ahead and hit the sell button. All right, let's see if this can bounce back there. I'm definitely going to stick around towards the bell if we can get closer towards 7 here. back towards 7, and we're looking good, but it has a way to go. Let's just say that much. Got up there multiple times, and I was deep in the green. So let's see if we can really get this to pop towards 750 and 8. That's where I could see this going to. And then we'll see if it really wants to go towards 9 and 10, right? We'll see. I've made some pretty good trades on these smaller ones as of late. So just got to keep battling, guys. And of course, we'll keep trying to size up. Yesterday, AG, guys, stopped me out as this was starting to come down and it was looking like it wanted to break this 595. It came back. I got stopped out for 1 cent loss on the 4,000 shares. It was really close. I was up about $300. I was just looking for the next crack. The next crack would have got us into the 80s and into like the lower 90s. And I would have been able to make that nice like $500, $600 yesterday. So we just got to continue to battle, see how we can go about things, right? And keep trying to push things to that next level, right? All right, guys, let me go ahead and set a little bit of some range here. I just want to go ahead and take a look at the action here. All right, let's see what I can do here. Looking around right now, I'm seeing that TNON now just to get a little bit of a spike back. So that's actually not a bad outlook. We'll see if that can really take the move. Just going to continue to watch. I did see gold up this morning, so we'll see what happens there. Got to keep pushing. GLD back towards 2061. So can that take 21 today? Definitely could. So keep your eyes on that. This did pull back. Didn't fill the gap. Definitely holding the 9 EMA now. I'd be looking for that to hold $20 on the pullback, not breaking 20, and just continuing to climb back here towards maybe 21 or 22 on the next push. The very similar move that you got here, right? So similar patterns are something to look for. So you're getting a similar pattern that you got here to start to play out here. Now you could see that went sideways, 1, 2, 3 days, and then took to the next level. This is going now sideways 1, 2, 3 days, and now starting to come back for that next level. We'll see if it can make the move or not. All right, guys, I do want to show you guys something, and this is very apparent, right? Is kind of showing you guys my statistics, right? And of course, guys, this is always going to be kind of changing, and there's not too many traders that kind of really show you guys this. So I just wanted to show you guys just how transparent I can be for you guys, and also show you guys that you don't need to be so accurate on your decision making. Here, take a look, guys. All right, guys. So here you guys see this eValve account, and there's some statistics around this, right? I can make this a little bit bigger if you want. Here you go. Let me at least make it a little wider here so that you guys can see it. And, it's really interesting to see, right? This is about a pretty substantial amount of time taking a look at it, right? And you guys can see here, what I think is very important, right? Is that essentially I have more losses than wins in the account as of late, and yet I'm still being able to make good money. And this is very important, guys, because the truth is that being 41% accurate, what do I need to keep in mind? Well, I need to keep in mind the profit to loss ratio, because you don't need to be, let's say, 80% accurate to make money. You just need to make sure that you're sticking in mind what your profit to loss ratio is, right? And if you can stay to that on the reward side, then yes, you can keep coming back and still making money and not having to win as much, right? So I usually try to keep it to the point where I'm about 40% accurate. And the big thing there is that I'm looking at more like a 3-to-1 trade or a 2-to-1 trade at minimum, right? And we can see it here that the average wins are around 210s and the average losses around 86, right? But there are some big wins, right? We started to just start sizing up. And so now we're starting to kind of change this up, and things can turn around in an instant, right? So I wanted to show you guys this so you guys can see it here. And another thing to see is that, I'm 40% accurate on the shorts, still also able to make some money there, right? I think that you just got to find what is the good profit to loss ratio for you that works, and this is working for me. So got to continue to push this. Of course, this account needs to get to the 8,000 mark for me to win the eValves, and I've had moments where the eValves are going great, and the only thing that's happened as of late is just them expiring without me reaching the goal. So that's why I'm also trying to go to that nice big step up, right? You had 4,000 shares, right? Vic is asking, why didn't you sell 2,000 with a profit? Because the truth is that one thing I've noticed, and I've done this countless times, right? Taking partials is a good and bad thing, right? Good thing because you can go ahead and lock in the profit. But another thing that I've noticed is that it's taking away from my profit to loss ratio a lot of the time. So by selling that partial, a lot of the times, what am I doing? I'm essentially killing my mathematical advantage, right? And I'm selling the partial because what? Because I'm a little bit worried that the stock is going to turn against me. So what I've been lately doing is essentially all in, all out in one trade. And I do agree that sometimes you want to keep a momentum runner, which you could keep a smaller size available to you, right? But what I've been doing lately is just getting in and out at the full kind of profit to loss ratio and trying to make sure that I get towards that 3-to-1 outlook, taking the money, because then I can go ahead and lose on the next 3 trades and still be break even, if anything, in the green. This is very important. If we can do this, that gives us the probability and mathematical advantage in our favor. Yes, could have been sell 2,000 shares there. What do I get? I get $150, right? Then what happens if the trade actually goes in my direction? Then I get maybe another $200 or $300. So the trade turns out to be a $400 trade versus what it could be there, which is a $1,000 trade. And $1,000 is going to be able to cover a loss that could potentially go to $400, $500, right? Because we're starting to push it on size. And we got to know where the kind of the downside can get us, right? So if I'm pushing at 4,000 shares, if I even lose 10 cents, that's $400. So easily I could be losing the $500, right? I could lose $800. I can't keep trying to take $100 off the table because $100 just isn't going to keep me moving in the right direction. If I do that, then I need to downsize and go back down into a more playable field. And then I can, take profits and partials with smaller size because the risk against me isn't that big. Yes, when you take that partial, you still only got 2,000 shares that could go against you. But it's a little bit of a mixed noise, right? If you want to trade in and out of a position, maybe take 2,000 shares off, then add the shares right back, take some off, add the shares right back. That can be a way to trade it, but that's usually more of like an algo style of trading. So that's just something to think about, Vic. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just more along what I'm doing. And I can't blame you for asking the question. So it's a really good question there. Why didn't I sell 2,000 of those 4,000 shares, right? All right, we'll see what happens out there, guys. Can we get to the next level? Can TNON actually make an up move? The spread is just staying wide right now. So I'll see what happens there towards the bell. It's definitely tight. Right now, it's on the downside. It's not on the upside. We did get a little bit of a bounce there. We started to go back towards the 75s, looking like we wanted to push and then slow down again. So I'm just looking for a nice little push here. If not, I'll probably get out of this name. This is going to be a tough one. Either way, I could see myself. Right now, it's just a matter of how much do I want to lose or give up on this name, and then just continuing to trade towards the open. Because the number one thing you don't want to do is get caught in your mindset, focus too much on this play, and then miss one of the bigger plays, right? So I'll continue to watch NNE today. I'll be watching the Vixie to see what happens in the market, to see if we get some downside. We're starting to get some upside towards the market open, so that's something to think about as we have been pushing towards the upside. Will we see continuous? I'd keep an eye on FedEx, right? Because if FedEx can continue to climb to the upside, then you could. But it's kind of just sideways right now. If this takes another leg down, that'll be one of the signs that I'll be looking to see if we go towards the downside. All right, guys, just looking around out there, and I'm seeing Tesla's at 244.20s, but now starting to pull back. So is the SPY. I'll also be watching the SOX out the gates to see what happens there, and continuing to watch different stocks in the market as we continue to move forward. And we'll be moving into the next earnings season as we started to kick things off. All right, looking around, seeing what else is making a move here. Definitely going to be watching to see what happens there on FedEx. And hung out with Beginner Trading today, guys. If you guys remember his channel, I was actually on there a little bit earlier today talking a little bit about some action. NNE, of course, going to be on the watch today. We'll see what happens with that. If it can start making a pop, I would love for this thing to go and try to make an attempt towards the 1050s and then start working back through 11. This looks good for swing trade potential. We'll see what happens. Let's go to the swing trade account. Let's talk a little bit about the swing trade and what do I got on. I got on Pakar. I talked about this one on the playbook. I had to take it yesterday. I was like, you know what? You're at the bottom, near the bottom end of the range. Take the shot, Mitch. This looks like a good time to take this style of trade. So I got in this yesterday, 98.23s, right when it was starting to bottom out here towards 12 o'clock. And it did a nice little rise. In the pre-market, it was up there towards 187. So going to see what happens here if it starts to make a push towards the 100. On the daily, it looks pretty good. It's just started to really get the momentum going. And a lot of this is just playing the sympathy from Deer and trying to ride the wave. If I can get the move towards 105, I'll be up, close to $7, like 680. And that would definitely give me the opportunity to go ahead and sell and run. Another thing to look at to the left-hand side is this stock had a big gap down, right? Big gap down. So I'll be watching to see what happens here. Can we come back and kind of fill some of this gap? You can draw it down to the body or you can draw it off the wick. The high here was 102.56. So looking to see if we can first at least get to that 102.56. All right, looking good there on Pakar. We'll see what happens with this one. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go towards the other stocks out there. And if you guys got a trade you guys are taking a look at, let me know in the chat. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's keep it moving. All right, guys, looking around to see what else is moving right now. In on DLMB, that was one that was moving yesterday, right? DLMB, let's just look at that. Ooh, just started to get the top there. This one was moving yesterday. This one actually eventually back down here. So I'm looking to see if this can move started. Yesterday we were able to kind of take a little small trade on this. We'll look to see if we get back there through the 11. Made like 471 on this one yesterday as it broke through. I sold it a little early. I sold it at like 1040s. It eventually went to 1340s. So missed out on like $3 of profit there. But I'm not going to be, greedy about that. Just looking at it for today's action to see if this one wants to get moving. They're already starting to get a lift here. We'll see if it can actually push at the bell. It's definitely one to watch. Big level to watch, though, if it can get through 11. I think it needs to get through 11 first before I even trade it. So I'll be watching to see if it gives me the signs that tells me, hey, I want to move. So keep a lookout on me. We'll see what happens there. All right, we'll see on TNON if I'm able to hang on here. It's definitely trying to stop me out on the downside. It's trying to get me out. It's hit this multiple times. I'm just looking to see if we're going to make a lift off of this. And look at the volume right there on the bid side of the 62. You almost got 5,000 shares on that 62. It looks like somebody's either trying to fill a bid or a short here. And then there's the next layer, which is 11,000 shares off the 650s. So this is something definitely to keep an eye out for. If you look at the daily chart, this has been slowing down. So could be a pullback right back towards 5. So I got to be careful here. Let's see if it actually just gets a takeoff mode back towards 7. That's the real move where it can really start to pressure some of the up action here. I delete the lines here and I just take a look at the trend line and I take a look at that approach. I'm looking for a push back up into this spot to see what happens there. Put an under horizontal line. That's to 629. And then right now, the recent action's been holding that 650s. Let's see if we can get up there towards the VWAP, 734, and then approach the breakout through 8. Spy now heading down here, guys, and that's just how it goes, guys. It's going to be a little bit of some mixed noise this morning, right? And so Q's now starting to come right back down. This is why I like the Vixie today, guys. I really do like the Vixie out the gates. I might be taking a quick trade on the Vixie out the gates and just setting a stop on TNON because that's not the one that's been making the money here, guys. One thing I can clearly see too is 1, 2, 3. I'll look for the fourth bottoming event here and then look for a swing back to the upside. So a breakdown through the 1175, coming back through 12s is definitely on the alert for me on the Vixie. So that's a breakdown through the 75s. I'll have alerts for both sides of that trade. Got to keep an eye on it, though. All right, TNON, just going to continue to watch this as I get towards the bell, guys. It's about what now? 9:07. We're closer towards the 9:30. Let's see if we can get this running right before the bell. That'd be nice. Like a move towards 7 right before the bell. It'd be looking good for some continued upside approach. Now, if we do get towards the bell and we start to really lift off, let's say towards the 750s, and I got the 400 shares, I might look to add another 200 shares to really kind of take a bigger win here and try to see if I can win, nice, like, $300, $400 on this trade. Let's see what happens. TNON, will it get going here today? I like the longer term chart when you pull it back, since that 4 o'clock kind of holding, and it's made multiple attempts this morning at 4 a.m. It was up there towards 9:36. All right, let's see if it gets to lift there through 7, guys. And what are you guys taking a look at in the chat? Let's go ahead. Let's see what you guys are watching. Mitch, what session are you usually in? Pre, normal, or after? What, the market? What session are you usually in? What do you mean? What session? I'm a little bit confused by that. Do you mean what time frame? Always looking at the pre-market action there. This is the pre-market in between those kind of brackets, right? But definitely take a look at like kind of the 15 minutes. That's what I really like to look at here. And we'll see if this can get real moving. The chart looks good. Just needs to get moving back through 7. All right, let's keep going. Wheeler gapped up $15, but I can't see any news to justify. Yeah, day trade with Tony. It doesn't matter about news with Wheeler. It's just a pump kind of stock, man. Did this thing do another split or something? Something happened here, man. I don't know what the hell happened there. What the hell is going on in Wheeler? Oh, yeah, it did another split, man. There it is. I have it here. Split 1 for 3. So that's why you see it up. Day trade with Tony. So you're wondering, you can't see the news? It's right there, man. It's a split. 1 for 3. Split on the 20th. So that's definitely going to affect the stock. So you're seeing it jump up, but that's not that it's up that much, right? So keep your eyes on that. Levi, moving, Steph. All right, let's take a look. L-Fly. Long fly. Of course, this Leaf Fly Holdings, and you know how the cannabis stocks have started to move. So if you're looking at this one, I tell you guys to also take a look at MSOS for the 7 break. This has been trying to start going back through 7, so I'd keep an eye on it today, as this does look like it's trying to make the move back through 7. So, of course, Leaf Fly is, of course, kind of a cannabis company. It's a technology company, I would put it like that. So keep your eyes on that action. It's going to be something definitely to watch today. We'll see what happens in L-Fly. Let's go to it. It's kind of going sideways. I don't think it's going to get back through 4, my opinion. But that's just because it also has a lot of upside kind of supply, right? So I'll be watching to see if this can really kind of push. Right now, you're running into that resistance right now where you could get that next level and go through 4. So I could be wrong here. I just was leaving it on the sideline. It's like kind of have a pattern where it's just trying to build. I'd look for pullbacks back towards the 340s to see if it starts to build there and then takes the next step up. But definitely Leaf Fly starting to move. And with this one, you could start to see Maps also get the lift. So a very similar company, right, is Maps. MAPS. So we'll see what happens there if it starts to make a push. All right, BNZI. We'll see what happens on that one. Back down to 5. Can this one make the move today? It could. It's a hard chart to go after. It's just been falling knife. So we'll look to see if this one can get back through 6. All right, taking a look around out there, guys. Benzinga is my go-to for news and scanners. Yes, agree. And that's what I use also. So you'll see me. I pull it up all the time. Did they have the Wheeler news? They don't have the Wheeler news. I'll go yell at the news desk for you. I know the team at Benzinga, so I'll go yell at them. Looks like it looks like they don't got the news. Oh, they do. They got it, but they got it on September 18th. So they have the announcement, but they don't have that it's trading today on the split. So you'll see it here. I'll pull up the news here. So they put this news on the 19th that they announced they won for split. And then now it's actually getting the split. So there you guys have it. Check it out, guys. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there, guys. Maybe Apple is too extended for the long. I mean, now, yeah, you're chasing a little bit, right? And so that's the hard part always. Things always look better, but after it's already at the top, right? And so now Apple, I feel like you're chasing a little bit here. But that's if you're looking for like a longer term swing. You could always ride the daily momentum. Daily momentums, you're never too late, right? You just got to look for support breakdowns. But right now, Apple looking pretty decent there. It could get towards 231 if it really breaks out today and then starts to approach the high, all-time high on Apple, going back there towards 237. We'll see what happens on Apple. Can it make the move back through that 231 spot? All right, we'll keep watching to see if there's some other stocks that make a move. Of course, Nike continuing to the upside. Keep your eyes on that. And that's going to affect different stocks out there, so that could continue to see a lift. Microsoft had mentions this morning of nuclear energy, something to watch on that NNE as we're already approaching the 1140s this morning. We were down there towards 1069, now starting to approach more like $1 pop. And a lot of this is off of the CEG news, as when that came in, I started to see the momentum shift in NNE and SMR also. Look at SMR. It was near $10, and I was looking at it in the morning. I was like, should I just trade it here through 10? Yeah, it could have been easily a nice little trade through 10. A little scalp through 10 in the pre-market and then ran with the money. Now look for declines back down below that 990, going towards 975 to maybe try to play a swing trade on SMR. So that'd be trying to get the approach of a pullback coming back here towards these levels, closer towards 10. So if I could get this move, let's say back towards like 994s, 980s, it looks great for a swing trade. We'll see what happens there in SMR. All right, we're taking a look around to see what else is out there. I bought a colander spread on FedEx yesterday. So bought the 310 calls for November and sold the 310 that expires today. What to think? Roll out to next week? Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that's a harder one if you're expecting that to come back. And you said you did which one? The 310s? Let's take a look here. Ooh, the 310s, right? What to do there? It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. FedEx could be right back at like 280s just next week, right? And so it's kind of hard because it filled the gap, right? And so this could just fill the gap and then start to play right back up. So the same way that you saw the stock here, I'm going to give you this, right? So you've seen the stock do this before. With the stock gaps down, but look what happened, right? It did go towards a new low before it started to go right back up. So that's one thing that I know is that a lot of times it does that undercut through the low. So you got to ask yourself, are you willing to take this action, right? If you are, then maybe you can stay in it and kind of roll it. But hey, like always, man, you can see how FedEx goes. It goes up really big. It comes down really big, up, down, up. And then now it's looking like a down. And so that's the hard part here. We'll see what happens. Mitch knows his ticker symbols. Yeah, you know how it is, man. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't, but we'll keep going, guys. Nice. I have weed out of the lousy platform. I keep an eye out for Benzinga. Yeah. I have to weed out the lousy platform, so I keep an eye out on Benzinga. Hey, I hear you on that one, man. And I use Benzinga a lot, guys. I use it for the morning. I know the scanners, and yeah, I know a lot of ticker symbols, but maybe I don't know them all. Sometimes I'll get them right? Cannabis stocks, you can take a look at like CGC. You can take a look at Tilray, right? TLRY. The one that I like the most, right? It's going to be kind of your TCNNF, which is Trulieve, but it trades in the OTC market. I've really wanted to have this company longer term, but if I really wanted to have it, it would have been best to play it early in the year. So at 6, it would have been the price to have it. So then I could be sitting up 100%, sold half of my position, and then played with the house's money. So that's one way to think about it for investments overall. If you can get up 100%, you can sell half of it and just play with the house's money. At that point, it's the money that you made that you're playing with. Not a bad approach. That's how I know a friend of mine that invests, and I don't blame him for that outlook. He just like tries to take investments, see if they can go up 100%, sell half of it, and then just put it in a long-term account and just let it ride. Let it ride. Can't blame him for that approach. Now, if we start getting unrealized taxes, that would be something else. But hey, that's how it is, man. Mitch, I read that OTC markets are kind of unsupervised. Can you break it down? Really, it's just an exchange, right? So the real key there is that the OTC markets are not going to have like this overreaching body, like let's say the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, right? So yes, they get riskier, right? And they don't have as many like kind of people watching out for traders. Let's say that much, right? There can be some fishy things that go on in the OTC markets. Have I traded an OTC stock before? Yes, I can tell you that I have. Really just got to look for the right brokers that can offer you this. Now, of course, it isn't the sexiest thing because it doesn't have the institutional investment, right? You're not going to get a lot of, let's say, institutional money to go after an OTC. They have to be on the exchanges because they have regulatory issues and things like that. And then the compliance comes calling them and says, you can't be longing these OTCs, right? Things like that. So I think overall, you can think about OTCs as lotteries. A lot of the times they move crazy up when they make a move, but they also need to work themselves to an exchange, right? They're trying to go to the NASDAQ. They're trying to go to the New York Stock Exchange. The only question is, can they reach compliance and actually make it onto there? So there's ways of trading these OTCs, though. You just got to find the right brokers that support it. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Cannabis, will it get moving? We'll find out, guys. TNON, I'm going to it, guys. I want to take a look at it. We'll see what happens on this. Going to keep watch on that MSOS today. We'll see if it starts to make a move or not. Looking right now at TNON as we start to make a move here. Let's see what happens here, guys. Will I be able to get a green in TNON? Only one way to find out, guys. Stick around here, guys. Finally got another spike there. Went to the 690s just a second ago. The spread is wide here. So want to see if we can take 7 before the bell here. But, man, this one's tried to make the move plenty of times. Now, can it make that move? If I take a look at the kind of the MACD, we did undercut the cross, but now starting to come back here. So as long as we can start to hold this like 670s on pullbacks, that's what makes sense for me to see this start to keep pushing. So that's what I'm looking for, even on a 1 minute. So I can start to look to see that 671, 670 area holds on pullbacks. Now that we reclaimed the 9 EMA, I'm looking for pullbacks below the 9 EMA to hold and take approaches to break away from the 9 EMA, right? Vixie giving me the alert already, 1185. So Vixie getting ready here, already getting a little bit of a spike here, guys. Already getting out of the range as the SPY is coming down to 567. NVIDIA down below yesterday's price action. Tesla falling fast here, guys. Will we get a collapse here out the gates? Something to look at, guys. It's 920. Do I go for the Vixie already? That's the things I got to be asking myself. Or will we get some kind of downside action or upside action to give me an opportunity? So right now would be trying to play the 85s or the 83s. All things to think about here. I'll keep keeping an eye on it. I can see the MACD on the hourly starting to cross on the hourly, which tells me to look at it. But I also want to see this one more downside attempt. Give me this wick towards the 1175s and then come up through that 1190. We'll wait and find out, team. TNON almost in the green again here, guys. So as we start to get into the green, we'll look to try to kind of risk down, right? Not risk as much, right? So maybe 50, 60 bucks now, but looking for this to push towards the 725s and potentially maybe make a run towards the VWAP. First spot VWAP is going to be 734s. And then I'll be looking to see if it takes 8. 8 is going to be the important level. I'd like to sell some there at 8 and then look to see if it can go to 9 or 10. Of course, this is going to be a fast mover here out the gates. We'll see what happens there. TNON starting to bounce, starting to get the move. Can it break? 7. All right, you guys out there, what are you guys taking a look at? What are we watching? SMR for the swing. Yeah, I like it. I just need to pull back on the hourly. I like hourly pullbacks, right? Hourly pullbacks are very important. So take a look at the hourly. You want to trade it in hourly a lot of the times when I'm looking at swing trades. I try my best for swing trades looking at those hourly long pullbacks. The same thing that happened in Pakar, right? So Pakar yesterday, what does it do on the hourly, right? It gives a first little pop, right? Goes up there towards the resistance here, the prior resistance, 99.35. It goes to 99.39. But then it pulls all the way back towards these bodies, right? These body highs. Those are the opportunities to grab it. Same thing in the pre-market, 98.13s, right around that 98.14s. 98 seems like a spot where it's holding support. So that's why I went in and I got 98.20s. So things like that is what I look at. Hourlies, guys. Hourlies can really help you guys out. All right, guys, here's TNON. Now the setup is there, guys. The hourly setup looks good here, too. We're back towards the 690s into the green here. Into the green. Let's see how much green we get today. Let's find out, guys. This is going to be a lot of action here. A lot of traders watching this. I have a feeling that we're seeing the action starting to wake up here. Looking at the kind of the levels out there. First level to watch for 710. See if we can take it out. We'll see what happens when it hits 7. Does it run through the 710 going into the 725? All right, guys, back towards 695s on the offer. Can they take 7 here? We'll wait and find out here. Closer towards the bell. It's 9:23. We still got, 6 minutes? Yeah, pretty much 6 minutes. About a little bit over that. Let's see what happens here. Can we take 7? Let's go, TNON. Let's make a move before the bell. I won't be mad at you. All right, guys. XCH again today for a short. Seems similar. Pump and dump like ride. Hey, Shane, those are not bad looks, right? I think sometimes the one that the traders are not all talking about could be a good short. This is something that I talked about all the time, like when my Macy's short. No one was talking about that Macy's was going down when I was shorting it. That actually might be a good thing because you're not stuck into that trade where there's a lot of kind of noise, mixed noise both ways. If you just look at the chart, does it look bearish? Things to think about, right? And Shane, there's nothing wrong with maybe taking a trade that you're seeing a repeated pattern. Maybe something similar, right? I've been seeing it also, right? You got to try to find the patterns and the patterns will show up. You just got to be able to trade them. And the truth is, when you're trading the shorts, especially on these big movers, you just got to give yourself an ability to get through that first kind of downside action, right? Shorted it yesterday multiple times with small size and made over 1K. Proud of you, my friend. For real. Shane, keep getting after it. You're doing it right, man. And what you just said right there, I went with multiple times and small size. Because what did that do? It just gave you a chance. It just gave you a chance to do what? Continuously make that money, but minimize the risk. That's what you're trying to do. Keep getting after it, my friend. What caused Macy's to downtrend? It was recession concerns. Also, what did Macy's tell you? They're changing up their strategy. They're closing some stores and trying to make smaller stores. Why? Because the strategy that was in the past, getting into malls, getting into big shopping centers, is just not the method moving forward, right? You're going to see smaller store sizes. There's very few stores that can have that much of employee and upkeep to really kind of keep things going. And if you go into a Macy's, do you ever see it really like just popping where there's like people in every corner? No, it's usually like a couple people here, a couple people there, and very spread out, right? Well, why not just bring the downsides back in and then maybe try to turn things around? So if recession concerns come back into play, where you see it out there in like CNBC, yeah, I'd go back to shorting Macy's. I shorted Macy's when it was over here at like 1570s, covered it on the down move. It could easily come right back down. Same thing with ANF, right? But try to find shorts a lot of the times that aren't the sexy short. Sometimes are the real play, right? So that's one thing that I'd be looking at, like this Urban. Urban is not a company that everybody's talking about, but I could easily see it cutting right back down, back towards the 34, and even Gap. Gap is one that I was looking at earlier, right? And it was over here at the 22s, 23s. I was looking for shorts. We'll see what happens there in Gap. Also watching the AEO. We'll see what happens on those. But now you start working your way more into the popular names. TNON not holding there, not getting the 7 break. It was pretty close there, guys. Now just pulled back to that 670 spot. So looking to see if this 670 spot can hold here. Just got to keep watching it here, guys. It's going to move all around right before the bell. And at the bell, that's where I really got to keep an eye on it to make sure that I don't get that washout through the 650s. We'll see what happens here, guys. Let's keep getting after it and get that money. Oh, man, Molin's moving. There's news out there. Oh, good Lord. Molin, the Molinator, man. The Molinator getting the lift. This thing will give you cavities, but it could also make you some money. We'll see what happens there in Molin. All right, going back to TNON. I got to focus on TNON. We'll see what happens on that Molinator, see if it keeps lifting. Let's go focus here, guys. It's 9:28. We're getting really close to the bell. You know, I normally like to play, like, you know, the bell sound and all that. I'm going to be really focused here. Let's get after it time. It's already time, guys. So just be careful out there, guys. We're ready to wrap up the week. And, of course, Fridays have not been the best to me lately. It's been the day that I've given back the most of my profits. So what do I need to do? I need to go ahead and stay in control today. Let's do that, team, and let's do it together. Like always, guys, get after it. I wish you the best of luck. And you guys know what time it is. It's time. All right, bell is about to open up in just a minute here. I wanted to go ahead and get ready to go here, guys. So already switching on to things. Let's see what happens here. Also going to continue to watch to see what happens in the SPY. Tesla coming down here. Apple continuing to the upside. What about some other names out there? If you guys got a name you guys want me to continue watching, throw it up in the chat. I'll keep a watch on it, guys. I got no problem keeping a watch on certain stocks. And I want to continue to watch to see how different names perform out the gates here. So we'll keep watch. Apple doing really well. Microsoft starting to come down here. Success is another one that I wanted to kind of keep a watch on here. We'll look to see if that just takes off out the gates. All right, to understand risk here, I think is very important. So even through the 650s is really when I want to risk off. That's about $150 here in that TNON. So don't want to show my hand just yet, but I'm definitely thinking about right out the gates. Got to be protecting if it comes down through that 650s. Here's 695s. Here's the bell there, guys. Be safe out there. I wish you the best of luck. Like always, market's going to be moving. Stay safe out there, traders. All right, really close to my entry here, so just trying to keep it tight here. Would like to see this just pop right back through 7, but also got to get ready here just to protect myself. It's back in the 670s here. Can see a quick spike into the 60s, but really don't want to see even the 60s let go here. So, all right, 70s, and it's slow here, slow. I'm going to look for a quick move back there through 7. Here's an attempt down towards that 670s. There's the 660s. Now I want to see if it recovers. If it doesn't, I get out. Swashing out those buyers right before 7. SPY and the Qs bounce there, but not a big bounce there. Apple's the big one that I see to the upside, and Success actually going up. That's interesting. So, but Apple leading to the upside, guys. That's a pretty strong move there. SPY is just kind of just chomping around right now. I'm looking at the Qs. That's actually up a little bit more. Tesla bouncing a little bit there. Still watching this TNON to see if we can go right back above here and then start to push towards the 695s. Hands on the trigger to get out if I need to. All right, in just about a minute, I'm going to look for this to start to take up. If not, I can just go ahead and get out, take a small loss, and reassess here. There's the Qs taking a big push to the upside. I'm getting in a down attempt here, guys, but the spread is wide here. I got to be careful here as the spread just widened out on me towards about 10 cents there. So there you guys see me getting the test right now, guys. I got to go ahead and establish the risk here because it's definitely going to press down here. And the spread just widened out to grab some volume here. So I'm looking for the move back here, but about to let it go here and get stopped out. There it goes, guys. I'm trying to get out here. Boom, I'm out. Oh, just got some slippage on that, guys. Slippage. Just put it towards 160. Got about like 8 cents of slippage there on TNON. Wipeout move there on TNON. Glad I got out because I would have lost a lot more, right? But dang, man, slippage there really kind of cost me there, guys. So the slippage, I put it out there towards like 640s. Got about like 6 cents of slippage there. But man, quick downside action there. Well, look to bounce back. That's it, guys. It is how it goes. And 227 down there. Definitely not what I wanted to start it off with. I was trying to keep it towards 150. Lost about $75 more there than I wanted to. But looking at the SPY right now, I got to go ahead and shake it. That's the penny game. That has nothing to do with the way the market's trading right now. Market's looking like it wants to break down here, guys. So I'm taking a look to see what happens in the Qs. Will we get the breakdown here? Vixie is just hanging out at the 1185s. Could make the move right back to the 12. So I'm just looking to see, will we get the up move or will we get continued downside? Tesla's trying to bounce back. Nvidia, I'm watching Nvidia. It's at that 117.75. It's definitely something to keep an eye out for. We'll look to see if it gets to the 118s here. NNE pulled back there, made a spike towards 1250s, guys. So nice little spike there in NNE. If you guys were able to make some money on that, shout out to you guys. Going to continue to watch SMR and NNE. Look at SMR take off there, guys, to the 1050s. And it did do a little spike down there towards the 1010. So I got my opportunity to buy the dip in SMR, and I missed it, team. Focused on this TNON, and that's how it goes sometimes. You're focused on one stock, you miss the other, and this was the play in the swing trade that would have been an awesome swing, especially getting that first little red to green. So a little frustrated on this one because I don't have it and don't have SMR, but looking at NNE here to see if maybe we can get a test back down towards 11 and then a turnaround back. Don't want to jump on the VWAP right now because the truth is we're still getting a pullback here. Looking around to see what happens there. Q's now starting to jump back towards the up end. So that could give me that attempt there where the Vixie comes down and then starts to work its way back up. So I'll be watching for a move back into the 1170s and then coming back through the 1190s is going to be very something to kind of keep an eye out for. And there's TNON right back towards the 660s. And that's how it goes sometimes, guys. Just getting hunted a little bit. We'll see if TNON goes back through 7. I pushed it a little bit too much on that one today, but we'll keep a watch on it, see if it comes back. Nvidia there towards the 118. So we'll look to see if this one keeps pushing there back to that 118, and that could continue the upside action out there. L-Fly, how did that one do out the gates here? It's down towards 318. So we're going to continue to watch that one. MSOS not wanting to make the move, so it doesn't look like it's Cannabis's day right now. BNZI, though, that did make the move off the $5. We'll look to see if this keeps going. It just bounced off the 6, now towards the 650s. Not really something that I really like, but hey, you guys can take a look at it. I'm always going to let you know what I see moving out there. GLMD did make a move towards 11, now back towards 10. I've talked about how I need to see it get through 11 first to even get my attention. We'll look to see if it gets back there to it. And there's TNON right back to 697. There's 7, and it jumps to 720s, guys. That's how it goes sometimes, guys. So this is why I should have maybe gotten out and gotten right back in towards it once it made this attempt, right? And so there's the attempt move towards 7. I'd be looking at the 7 buy right now towards like 675s on pullbacks, but man, it's hard to just keep coming after this today, right? I just cost myself too much to go after this again, right? If it cost myself like $100, maybe I can come right back into this. But there you guys see it, back up there to the 720s. Misplayed this one now. It's just back there towards the 720s. We'll look to see if it breaks the 730s and goes to 8. Still looking good here on this TNON. We'll see what happens there. Definitely had the opportunity to rejoin the party too. Just didn't do it. All right, let's keep going, guys. What else is out there? What do you guys got? Pre-market high. Get after it, guys. All right, looking for Amazon 191. All right, get after it, man. Spy still kind of making a little bit of an attempt to the upside. I'm going to look for a washout eventually, but the one that's strong is Tesla. Tesla pushing, guys, pushing. It's going back for that trend line. It's going back for that approach to break through and get back towards the highs. It's pushing strong right now, that Apple. TNON back to the 720s there, guys. So a little frustrating on that one today. Just a red to green move that I got washed out in. Red to green, and now it's actually green on the daily chart. Looking pretty decent here. We'll look to see if it makes a big run. CRBP, looking at this one, look at that. Biotech down from $50 to $18. Ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. FedEx down to $258. That tells me more and more. Look at... I almost got to be quiet on this one, guys. Look at SMR. Sometimes, guys, when I don't have the swing and things are looking great, it's probably the best name. Oh, man. SMR. Why don't I have a piece of you, man? Oh, that's frustrating right there, guys. SMR just taking off there. Taking off. Oh, man. NNE also with a little bit of a push there, guys. We'll look to see if this can continue to push. But, man, missing this nuclear play and frustrated because talked all about it, wanted a piece, never got the piece, and now they're a little bit ways away. So NNE still looks interesting for a swing because it hasn't really made the breakout today, but SMR, that's already breaking out. That's a little bit far away from where I can trade it, right? I mean, look at that thing. 1156 now, guys, on SMR. Great candle up. Why is this moving, guys? Why is this moving? Nuclear reactors. Why didn't Money Mitch trade it? Now, that's another one to ask. Oh, man, frustrated to see this thing just take off. It's taking my hat off, guys. It's taking my hat off here on SMR. But it is what it is. Just got to let it go. TNON, how about more room for the stop loss than you stay in? The problem there is that it's about the loss, right? You can't let the losses get bigger, right? I can let the trade work a little bit more, but I was at 400 shares looking for the break. Maybe at 100 shares, I could have let it done that little 640 move, right? But let's just talk, right? SMR, that was a nice one, man. And I'm a little frustrated I didn't get after that 10 pullback out the gates. But that's just how it goes sometimes, guys. Definitely really nice move there. CEG, we'll look to see if this keeps moving. You can start to look to see if the uranium plays start to move, like CCJ, URA. Start taking a look to see if those start to get the move. I haven't taken a look before, but you can see it on the daily, how CCJ started to get going. So maybe look to see if you get some further pullbacks in CCJ. But it's actually looking pretty good right now on this pullback here. Back down. We'll look to see if it takes the next step up towards the 4450s. So CCJ and uranium plays and TNON. Seems like today was one of those days where had the right mentality, just executing it wrong, right? So that's okay. Just take it easy, Mitch. That's another thing, right? We don't got to go too excessive today. And already lost a little bit here. So just taking a look at that. TNON should have been a big win, right? Just a bad approach on it. 740s now, 750s. Looking good here for the 8 run. We'll look to see what happens on the hourly chart. The hourly chart looked really good here. Now we're running into that first resistance. Next level from here goes to 8. We'll see if we'll get that push towards that momentum. SPY starting to come back down. So Vixie's my trade here now, guys. As this starts to come back down, I'm looking at the Vixie here. Would love to see one more down attempt on the Vixie. So one more up attempt on the SPY and Qs before we start to get some wipeout. There's TNON towards the 740s, 750s almost there, 747. So hey, it's just how it goes sometimes, guys. Sometimes you're going to be on it. Sometimes you're not. Today, my execution off a little bit and missing this play. But was I looking for the right move? I think so. I just think I should have got out there at the open at the 680s. Just got my break even stop out and looked to get back in once we broke 7. That's the better way to have been playing it. But hey, I'm always going to tell you guys when I do play it right and when I play it wrong. In this case, I played it wrong. OKLO, big push up there, guys. This is a new one on the screen that I see that's making a move. What's interesting there, guys, is some of the top movers of the day right here, mentioned before the market opens, SMR, NNE. Look at those moves. Nice little moves there, guys. So we'll look to see what happens there in those nuclear plays. But I'll be watching, guys. Not a bad move there. Tesla now heading down there. So that's another thing to keep an eye out. That's pulling back. Will NVIDIA make it back through the highs, or will we start to go back to the VWAP? Apple's a strong boy. That thing went up there to 231s, but look how quickly it's dropping right back down. Let's see what happens here in the Qs. Will we get some downside action to come in? I'm looking for one more upside action in the Qs and then the fail to come in here. But that's just the way that I see it, because I can see the Vixie coming down, making a wick towards like 1170s and then the push up. But I'm watching right now, guys, to see when the VIX wants to recover here. Looking at the 5-minute pattern and the 1 hour pattern, I need to go towards the 15-minute chart also. See 1, 2, 3 kind of bottoming attempts. I'm looking for one more attempt that could attempt back below this support. So especially the 78. I can get the slightest tick underneath that 78 and then watch for recovery. That's what I'm watching for, guys. What's up out there, traders? How we doing? It's good to see you guys out there. Now looking for second target, 757. Did you get that TNON to 757? Not sure. I took my eye off of it there. There's the Qs going for that up move there. MSOS doesn't look too bad. It's trying to make a move there. Stoxas struggling. There's the SPY heading to the downside. There's the Qs heading to the downside. Vixie already pushing to the upside here. So I might just have to step up in the Vixie. There's the Vixie starting to move here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start trying to get a little bit of an entry. I will be adding to this. So first entry, going to go ahead and get the starter on right now. Looking for the 1185s here. I would love to see a little bit of a tap, but I'm already seeing that downside action come in there. I'm long, guys. I took 1,000 shares there. We'll look for a little bit of a pullback back towards the 1178 to kind of add there and kind of give myself a little bit of an average. We'll see what happens here. If we start to get a little bit of a push, I can always add if it just jumps into the 1190s. But looking to see what happens here in the overall market, seeing a little bit of some slowdown action. Looking to see if we get a dump here by the SPY. The SPY already kind of heading towards the lows here. Looking to see if we just get a dump right now. Success could be another way to play this towards the upside. And we'll see what happens in XLF. I'm looking to see that start to come down there. And look at that. That's actually showing me the weakness right now. Could take a look to see if Welfare Low is dropping. Citi is dropping, right? Look at these banks just completely collapsing today. I do want to get short some of these names. So I'm also going to take a look at FAZ to maybe play a little bit of a scalp on the upside there for the banks to the downside, right? And so looking right now to see Morgan Stanley through 100 is one that I like, and it's above VWAP. So that actually looks good there for me. Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2. I'm going to look for one more ride up above the 101 and then looking to short Morgan Stanley today. Let's see what happens here. It could already just break this and just collapse through the 150. So I'm just keeping an eye on it here to see if we can get one more push towards like this 101 and then failing. So a little push there and then the fail. So it creates that head and shoulders pattern. So I would love an attempt move into this spot here before I get shorted, but watching it right now, Morgan Stanley. NVIDIA trying to move up there, and that's why I'm staying also on the sideline here, but I don't mind it here. I do like the Morgan Stanley short, and I do like some of these banks shorts here. Citi is also already collapsed there. JPM is near the top there. Goldman Sachs already coming down to the 499. So I'll keep a really close eye on that. Vixie's starting to move here in the 1180s. The Qs are still kind of holding on, and that's what I haven't seen taken through the lows. The SPY looks weak. The SPY looks weak, guys. Look at that. 567 starting to show. And what is that? Well, look at the weakness in the sectors, right? So defensive, real estate, energy coming down today. And I'm starting to see the financials. They were up. Now they're starting to come down here. So going to continue to watch to see what's in the last hour changing here. In the last hour changing, I do see basic materials and industrials up, but after that, pretty much everything else is down from the last hour. So just watching the action right now. Can the SPY break through the low? I'm just getting that attempt now on the Vixie to the bottom there. SPY trying to break through the low. Q's now heading to the downside. Now it's my time to maybe take a shot there and adding in the Vixie off the VWAP here for the move higher. Let's see if we really get a dump here in the Q's and Apple breaks through the low here. I'm just waiting for that action. I'm not trying to overreact too quickly to that action. So waiting to see that the Q's really dump, right? So you can see how the Q's are just making that attempt back up here. So just watching it here to see if it doesn't just make a run to like 484s. NVIDIA staying strong. That's one name definitely to keep a very close eye on. All right, what are you guys taking a look at out there, guys? Good morning. Bro, you got your new channel. I didn't know about this. Well, sorry to hear that you didn't know about this. You know, one of the things is you can always keep up with me on Twitter. You got to just look me up at MoneyMitch_TTP for Trade the Pool, of course. And yeah, I just came over, Trade the Pool, right? You guys know I used to trade it on Benzinga. I said, you know what? Why not go over to my great friends at Trade the Pool and run this stream here? I enjoy doing this, guys. I start at 8:30 every single day and keep pushing towards close to 11 pretty much every single day. We'll see what happens here. FFIE coming down here. Interesting to see that start to finally break down, and that company I think will go back to $1 at some point. Remember when this thing was up at $10, and these things always look like nice little easy shorts. Molinator, the Molinator was moving today. That could keep coming down, but we'll see what happens. This is trying to get a little bit of a pop right now. Nothing that I'm going to touch there though. All right, going back to Morgan Stanley to see if I can get this little lift to go short on Morgan Stanley. I just need to push towards 101. Give me that push towards 101. Give me the head and shoulders topping action here, and then I can go after it here. I don't want to go after it right now, even though it could just reject this trend line. I'm looking for a little bit of a fake out to the upside and then trying to get short on Morgan Stanley. Q's heading to the downside. That's actually a good outlook there. I might have to jump at Morgan Stanley, at least with the first shares, and look to add it towards that 101. Come on. Give me that pop towards that 101. Might just have to jump here and get after it. There, Qs are bouncing a little bit. SPY is bouncing a little bit. That should give the ability for the Morgan Stanley to kind of get back up here. Closer towards 101 is what I want to be short off of. MSOS making a little bit of a lift, but I'm not trusting that. I'll let you guys know if that even gets through 7. StoxS lifting a little bit there. Morgan Stanley looking a little bit heavy here. Could just drop. SPY, though, and Q's just made a quick move to the upside, guys. So you are getting that attempt at the 945 to the upside. I know someone in the chat said, I'm not trading to 945. Well, there you have it. How long have you been at Trade the Pool? Since pretty much the summertime. I don't remember the exact month, but I came over in the summertime. I got to look at the exact day. I'll look it up for you. There's the attempt up move there. That's Morgan Stanley, though, looking like it doesn't want to get the bounce, guys. I just need a bounce above VWAP to get short. I'm trying my best not to just jump and chase. Part of me says, get it now, right? Well, that's usually the chase in you, right? And so I'm not trying to chase it right now. I'm trying to give it the pop back and then look for the weakness to come back in, and then I can get after it. right? And I also could go off the XLF. I talked about that one in the pre-market. It was on the playbook, right? This looked great. Now I would look for a rejection off the VWAP, 45.50s. Just come back to 45.50s and then take the hit there further. We'll see what happens. XLF with a quick crack today, guys. Quick crack away from the resistance. This is what I was looking for in the pre-market. Now I'm going to look to see if we go back towards the 45 there on the XLF. Could take a swing off the XLF and then short off the Morgan Stanley. So I actually like that mentality. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for an XLF, bigger short. Like let's do 200. All right, there you guys see it, short on the XLF. I'll look to add that as it comes back there towards like 45.70s. If that comes back later in the day, I'll be looking to add to that short. Pakar, I definitely have already a stop. So if that wipes me out on Pakar, that could just be that we're getting downside in the market. Qs look a little bit heavy here. Just need them to take a hard move towards 482. Looking for that 1178 here on the Vixie to see that start to turn back towards the upside. Where'd that hit? 1180s, 1180s. All right, Q's trying to make that down attempt here. We're starting to get a little bit of weakness in the market here. Looking to see if we can break towards the 482s and actually get that breakdown here. Morgan Stanley, what's up with you? It's in the 60s, 70s on the offer. One more attempt. Come on. Come on. Trying to get through there. Trying to get through this. Just trying to get a little pop here, Morgan Stanley. All right, let's keep getting after it, traders. What are you guys looking at? CrowdStrike strong. Okay, not a bad one to take a look at. I'll be watching to see what's happening in the Qs and the SPY in just a second here. Just trying to go ahead and distinguish what I do on the opening trades here. Tesla still looking heavy. Apple tried to make the attempt to go back up and then failed. Now Nvidia is starting to fail. That makes me feel a little bit more confident and making me probably going to get after this Morgan Stanley just right here. As much as I want to wait for the move back up, I might have to just chase it a little bit. That's the hard part here. Sometimes it just goes for the wipeout. Qs and the SPY looking pretty heavy right now. See a little bounce there. There's a little bounce. Come on. Q's looking heavy here, man. It's heading to the downside right now, at least on Morgan Stanley, making that look like it wants to break down here. Vixie going back into the green there for me, guys. So I'm going to go focus on that in just a second here. Seeing the SPY and the Qs just holding up for just a second there. One more push, guys. One more push, and then I'll look for that 10 a.m. collapse. Yeah, it's on the rule of 3 right now on the Qs, and I want to give it that one more chance to get through that. So you can see here, there's an up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2. We go to an up 3. We make a down 3 attempt. We might make an attempt back towards 483s. Breakdown for me is a flush through 482s. Looking to see if we get back above 483s. For the bulls, they want to see that. If they don't get that, they'll probably get the flush down through the 482s and start to get hit. So looking at that action right now to see what happens. Morgan Stanley just at the 170s is still not making that big push there. Now we're into the 70s. It's not too bad. I'm going to start looking at a potential entry here. All right, in a second here, I'm going to put out some 80s here to see if I can get the fill into the 80s. right, just put out the order there at 85. All right, seeing a down attempt already in the queues, and the SPY could just follow it. So I'm jumping in here, guys. I just jumped into Morgan Stanley short 100 shares, willing to add another 100 shares at the 101 or the breakdown of the 150. I'll add another 100 shares. Just going to go ahead and take the starter there and then go focus on the Vixie. I'll keep a watch on this. Definitely not going to let it go through like kind of that 32. It's a smaller position right now. I want to add to this Morgan Stanley short, but I need the market to give me that real strong sign that we're on the breakdown. Vixie looking good there. We did get a couple of wicks down towards the 1180s. Now it could take the 1190s and go through 12s in a hurry. So just got to determine, is now the breakdown? And I'm seeing the breakdown happen right now. It's about to be 10 o'clock. So here's my shot here, guys. Shot for the day. I'm going to start taking it now. All right, here, guys, I'm adding there, just added there. Now I'm at 3,000 shares long at 87, looking for the push into the 90s and the 12s. This could make me the money, and also I'm going to push it today, guys. So the truth is that I got to keep scaling up, got to keep taking attempts, and now I just got to keep to what? The risk and return. So another thing to take a look at is the 15-minute chart. The 15-minute charts have been doing me really well. So now I don't want to see them break the 80s. Want to see it get into the 90s and push towards the 12. Yesterday, we were up there towards around 1205. And then in the beginning part of the day, we made an attempt to 1230s. Can we go towards 1230s in a hurry? I'll be watching for it. There's a nice little move. First move in the queues down there. Looking good right now on that first little spike. Going to look for that push into the 1230s, but really I could take the 1220s. 1220s would be a nice $1,000 gain, guys. So going to look to see what happens today, but I have potential for a $1,000 gain and going to risk here the 300, right? And so that's what it's always about. It's always about risk to return, and keep that in mind, right? That's what it's always in. Now the question is, what will happen? Morgan Stanley going to the green. That's actually a good outlook there as we start to see the downside come into Morgan Stanley. Looking good on that first rejection through the 150. Could add to this on the short side. Looking pretty decent already as it starts heading towards that 150. Let's see if we get that. I'm going to actually set a stop there because I don't want to miss it when it starts to go through that. So I'll put the 150 right now. There you guys have it. I have a stop there to place there, and I can go look at the Vixie. Right now, it's about to trigger. I'm going to let you guys watch it as it triggers. I'm going to go over to the Vixie. 150 is the stop. So through that, I will get another 100 shares short on Morgan Stanley and then hold back towards that VWAP where my original entry was. Let's see what happens here on the Vixie. Do we get the takeoff? Now we're starting to push there. That's the more important one because that's going to be the high money trade right now. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on that. Canceling the alert that was at the 1176 now. I want to see what happens here in the queues. If the queues could continue just to tank, reject the 482.9 EMA recovery here. Reject that. Just go through the 481. There we go. That's actually good action there on the first action. Now can we get the next expansion? Go to that 481. 481.30s now on the bottom end. It needs to break that 481 to really start to break here. So looking at that hourly to start seeing the hourly support break. Hourly support is right around this 481 towards the 480s. We gapped at the 480.50s. We could go right back to yesterday's high, which is around the 477 level. That's where I could see us getting to. That's where I could go ahead and try to get some green. Looking for the pop above the 12s, now going towards like kind of the 1217, 1215, 1220s on the Vixie. That would be $1,000 trade again, guys. So just trying to set up for that, right? We never know what's going to happen. The only thing you can do is get after it, team. All right. If the markets stay like this at 10, I'm out. Well, there you guys have it. Par, are you out? Mitch, what's going on out there, guys? How you doing? I think there is a lockout expiring DJT. Yes, there is a lockout. That's for Trump. He could sell. He said he wasn't going to sell, but You never know with Trump. All right, guys, just slightly up on the Vixie, just kind of keeping a very close eye on it here, guys. I'm looking to see if the Qs can make another attempt down. Don't want to see them come all the way back up on the 15-minute range. So that's what you're starting to see here. You're starting to see people play off that 15-minute support. So the 15-minute support is right here. Look where you kind of bounced. 481.27, the low 481.22. You think that traders are not looking at that level? Oh, hell yeah, they are. Now let's see if they take that level out. Still haven't gotten the ad on Morgan Stanley too. So that's one thing that I like. But I say that as a stop. Why? Because I want to go ahead and get it if it flushes down. If it flushes down, I'll add. If it doesn't flush down and it gives me on the risk side of things, I'm not adding the share size. Looking to see if we can get some more leakage to come into the market here. Defensives down big. Industrials were up, now starting to push right back. So maybe Picard starts to get the lift again. We'll look to see what happens on that one. It is on the pullback. Vixie trying to push into the 1190s. I'm trying my best not to focus on it so much because that's how you get, you start to get a little weary. You start to feel the pressure, right? Today, on a day where I'm down a decent amount, I feel the pressure. I'm not going to lie and tell you guys that I don't. But what I'm going to do is just play the game. Play the game. Try to execute. That's all you can do, man. You can't control what the market does, but you can control how you trade it and how your emotions are during the day. Caught a great short on GSIW from the break down to 6. There you go. Still in the halt. Get that day trade, Tony. Yeah, 1,000. I made 1,000 this week. $1,000 trade this week. It was a $1,100 trade. So looking to see if I can make close to that again. The big part here is going to be if like right now, one of the telling signs, right? Yesterday we saw how Apple green was a good sign to look for the green to come back to the market. It's trying to make its attempt to move back towards 231 right now. We'll look to see what happens there. And the same thing for NVIDIA. It's on a nice little pullback towards the 117.60s. So if you think that the market's coming back, NVIDIA is a good watch. So looking at that, right? Starting to see success pull back a little bit. You're back through the 482s there on the Qs. So got to be careful here. I could just stop out right here and then come back in. So that's another thing that I've been thinking about more and more, guys, is being able to stop out and then get back into the trade. So going to go ahead and keep to my action right now, guys. I don't want to risk too much on this trade at the first start. Looking for the continued breakdown, but we could get a little bit of a reversal here. So looking to see what happens on the Qs here. Do we reject the support 482.20s and get towards 482.40s? If I see that, I'll just take the money and get out of Vixie, and then I can get back in it, right? So just taking a really close eye on the Vixie right now. The VWAP is 86. I'm in at 87. So just got to respect the pullback here. Don't want to push too much, but also looking for the breakdown. And what needs to happen is the Qs. The Qs, you can see how they're trying to reject this area right now, looking to see if it comes right back up. Because if it comes about through that level, then I'm in a little bit of a trouble spot there. So looking for this rejection area here. Let's see if we just make a move right back down through the 481. Financials pretty heavy here. We'll see if those get back down. Morgan Stanley's back at the 175. One thing's for certain, I got to continue to watch those penny stocks because they're costing me too much in the morning. Because yesterday was a similar day where I was down about like 200 towards the gate, and that's what cost us, right? So I got to continue to watch that, guys. Just risking way too much on those plays and not focusing on the higher quality plays. The higher quality plays have been doing me well as of late, but I'm also pushing it too much on the lower quality plays. So things to learn from this week, right? I'm going to be learning from that. I'll try to adapt next week into keeping it very, very small on those penny names, on the small cap names. And then these are the trades where I want to step up. These are the trades where I also want to use my risk, right? And so that's another thing to think about, right? You deserve a 2K day. Yeah, I mean, you and me both. I won't be mad at it if I can get it. The big thing is looking for trend runs. We lately haven't gotten that, right? And that's what I'm looking to see right now. Can we get another trend run? Is this a move down here on the pullback, or are we just going to rise right back up? One sign that is a little bit concerning is Apple's action. So I'd keep a very close eye on that Apple right now. You can see how it's trying to recover the VWAP, trying to go back to 231. You look at Microsoft. It tried to go through 439 like 3 or 4 times. Back through that, I could literally get wiped out. And look at this move really quickly, guys. I just got the hard pressure move on that Vixie. So hard pressure move on the downside action there. So we'll tell you guys that I keep an eye on Apple, Nvidia. If those go right back through the highs, I'm caught here on the Vixie. So just got to be smart. Qs reject a little bit there. We'll see if we get the move. I think this is the battle right now. And this is going to be the battle that determines the day pretty much. Let's see what happens here in the Qs. Do we get the wipeout through the 481 or recovery back through VWAP? Recovery back through VWAP. And you got some bigger cap names that will be looking good for upside action. If you guys are in those names, I wish you the best of luck. And how's NNE trading in those names? I'd like to take a look at it really quickly. Let's see. Ooh, NNE pulled back to that 1150, gave you that opportunity, right back up there. SMR back towards 1098. This looks like a good swing opportunity for me right now off the $10 spot. Would have to risk it here to get the biscuit, but looks pretty decent there, guys. I like it, but we'll see what happens there. Pull back to 1050. I'm taking the shot there, guys, because I can risk off the 950. So I'm going to give it a chance here to come pull back a little bit further than the VWAP, but looks interesting here on SMR. Look at that pullback. It's kind of pretty here. It's broken the VWAP 1, 2, 3 times. Just tried to do a recovery there. So we'll see what happens if it recovers 11. Not a bad looking trade. Qs are pressuring me. Vixie down big now, guys. Down about 125. Got to go ahead and just keep managing it here. Focus on the 15-minute pattern, right? It needs to just hold the support here. Get back up through the 1190s. Could stop out at that the 1185s, 1186, like even right here. Could just stop out of it. But I'm looking for the move here, guys. It's all about the Qs. The Qs, what are we going to do? We're going to recover or are we going to break back down? I'm watching you. What will Nvidia do? What will Apple do? Let me know, guys. What are you guys taking a look at? Tesla's been a drag since the open. We'll look to see if that comes back. Spy heading down. Q heading down. Let's see if they really want to break here. And it holds the support there around the 60s, 69. Definitely sideways consolidation at the bottom here. Let's see if it really wants to make a move towards 481.25s or back up above towards 482.50s. It's a hard trade today, guys. Hard trade, of course. You're getting that kind of mixed noise right now, mixed battle. Apple still looks like it's trying to come back, but Nvidia's a little bit weaker, and so is Tesla. Stock Tesla looks like it wants to make a new high here. All right, Qs, let's do it. It's time to do it. All right, there's that attempt down there, 481.50s. Can we break down towards that 481? Let's see it here. There's the attempt. Now I get that opportunity. Let's see if it happens. 481.40s. Come on. There you go, 41.30s. That's going to help. Spy also make an attempt here. Just needs to make a real hard action now. Looking for the expansion move down now. It's recovering a little bit off that bottom. It went towards 41.30s. Break this 481.20 low. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, looking around, I'm in the green here on the Vixie, but it's starting to push. As it starts to push, let's say towards like the 1195s, then I can leave break even on the rest and just look to see if it goes in my direction, right? Just looking for that first expansion move to give me that profit on the first side of this. And then I can go ahead and just tend to bring the risk down, right? So I can set the risk maybe at 85s on the VWAP. Once it starts to go through that 95 on the upside, to going towards the next resistance, which is 12. So I'm looking for that push there towards 12. Let's see if I get it here. The Qs are trying to make that breakdown. Let's see if the Qs break down, and then I'm in the green there. There's the 481.20s, 481.16s. That's going to help the Vixie start to lift. Let's see if we can start to get that push into the 1190s. Let's see if Morgan Stanley starts to just collapse here. So looking at Morgan Stanley, and I'm looking at that. I'm watching to see a quick collapse through 150. We'll see what happens there. Going back to the Vixie because that's the focus. Qs back towards 481.20s, but starts to hold up there. I need that continuation through the 481. I don't want to see double bottoms, triple bottoms here. I want that continuation. There's 481.04s, 481.13s, looking good there. Now just needs to let's flush it, guys. Let's flush it. There's 561, 566.45, starting to get that flush there. Action goes to the 1191s here. Now I need to go ahead and tighten in and just watch the action for quick reversals, but looking good here now, guys. Now we start to lift here, looking for the push towards the 1194s. Once I start to see that, I can set break even stop, but right now I wouldn't lose on the position. I'd cut it like right on like maybe like a one set stop. So when I go bigger and bigger sizing, one thing I've learned is that it's okay to get out of the position, especially if I'm going to take an all out approach, right? All in, all out approach. Look for that to can happen now. I'm $84 up, could just take the money and run, but that doesn't give me anything. Remember, I need to at least get 10 cents to count this trade. So another thing is thinking about that, right? At least 97s need to happen for me to run for the money. But really what I want to do is make sure that I'm break even at some point, where if the trade works, it gives me a big win. If it doesn't, it breaks even me out. I'm fine with that. All right, par TNON looks like a head and shoulders. Well, nothing more for me. Have a nice weekend. Hey, have a good one. Have a good one. Be back tomorrow. Be back on Monday. And like always, man, there's always a battle, right? It's not just easy. Right now, I'm seeing that Q's trying to break down. It went to the 481s, but now it's right back towards the 481.33s. I'm looking for a takeout of that 481 and going lower. Spy's going lower, but not really giving me that big reaction just yet on the Vixie. I want to see this start to really jump, get towards the 12. Get towards the 12. Let's go. Got to go to the 15-minute chart to see this and just kind of hold in on the VWAP and just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. One of the things is with the Vixie, it loves to just do these like kind of plays with you, right? Right now it's playing with me, right? Now it's the Qs is going in the right direction, but I always got to watch the market to see if it comes back in my direction, right? Tesla trying to make a new low here, but slowing down. I'm just looking to see if Tesla can break through the low, keep coming down here. If the Qs could keep going through the 481, it's 481.20s right now. We just went to a low of 481 right on the dot, literally double zeros there. So looking to see if I can take that out. If I could take that out, we can start the real lift off on the Vixie. There's 481.20s. Let's go. Let's go. Can Apple break down now? Apple's looking a little bit heavy here. It's on a symmetrical triangle, 3 touches off the bottom trend line. So be careful for reversals back to the upside. But looking at it right now to give me also an indicator on the market, because if Apple starts to get weak, yeah, the market could really drop down here. NVIDIA is getting weak. I'm looking for a cut down on 117 on NVIDIA to show me more conviction for downside continuation. Now we're towards the 1190s on the offer. Got some fill there at the 1190s. So looking for this to go towards the 1193s and 1194s. And we're looking good in this trade, starting to get up about $100 or $200. Looking for the nice little push here in the Vixie. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Qs. Take that 481. Let's get it. Morgan Stanley just still hanging out there, guys. That's one thing that I will say on Morgan Stanley. Keeping a very close eye on it, but it doesn't want to go just yet. So we'll see what happens on that one as it starts to lift there. Going to be a little bit careful on the Vixie. Just got to be careful here. The Qs are starting to break, but it's not breaking. So that's when I start to be a little bit careful, because at this point, I should get that nice kind of continuation back through the 481, not a quick spike up. So I got to be really careful for that quick spike up. Seeing NVIDIA go down towards 117 makes me feel a little bit more confident. There's 117 in the 11s, 117 10s. NVIDIA can let go through the 117. I looked at the Qs kind of following here. Vixie right back at the 1186, the 85s, guys. It just doesn't want to go just yet. That's where I'm a little bit concerned about the action that I'm seeing in the Qs. NVIDIA approached that breakdown, then stopped. So you see NVIDIA right now, 117.04s. I'm looking to see if we break that 117 green candle on this, and I got to be careful for the ramp move back up. And there it is, guys, right back up there. It gave the attempt there, up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, down three. You want to see this 83 holds. If not, it's going to start to let go here. And there it is. It's attempting that breakdown right now. We'll look to see if we go right back to the upside here, but definitely attempting the breakdown already there as the Qs bounce back pretty quickly there. And NVIDIA bounced off that 117 really well. It hit 117.04 and bounced pretty fast there. So if you're looking for upside action move, I'd be watching this right here as a reversal back to the upside. And there is potential right there. So I always try to give you guys the opposite trade, even on a trade that I'm in, because there's nothing wrong with you guys betting against me or betting towards the other side. I'm always going to give you guys both sides of the trade, right? So that's the NVIDIA one that I'm watching right now. Can it just break through the 117? It could. And then the stocks could start to lift, but at least then my Vixie could start to lift. We'll see what happens here. Hard trade, guys, because I've started to go in the green, but haven't really gotten the big push. And I could have stopped out at the 87 multiple times here. I might be pushing it a little bit. And that's where I'll look back, right? You can never know when you're in the trade. The only thing you can do is just establish the way that you're looking at it, right? Should be adding those 3,000 shares closer towards the 1190s and 1195s as it starts to break out. I feel like I added it on the opening price just because I was hanging out at that opening price. So that's one thing to think about and look back on and judge, right? Like always, guys, I'm going to be keep getting after it and starting to think about things and looking to see what happens here. DJT, I'm not touching that, man. DJT getting effed? Yeah, probably, man. Probably. You never know. Did Trump sell or not? I mean, I have no idea. But the lockup expires, and that could just do some damage itself. NVIDIA approaching that 117. We just broke it, and then we recover. God dang you, NVIDIA. Oh, man, NVIDIA. Look at that 117 recovery. 116.97, and then it recovers. Getting this hard attempt on the Vixie, guys. So definitely about to get stopped out in just a second. Giving it that 78 support because that's what I was looking at in the pre-market. But it could wash out through the 75s, and then I really get caught here, guys. So, hey, that's just how it goes right now. I'm watching it, watching the action. The SPY coming back here. Now the Vixie's taking a hard down action move here. So going to take a look to see what happens, but definitely getting the market to come against me now as it starts to bounce. Just watching the Qs here to see if we're going to get another bounce towards 482. If that does happen, I'm probably out of this trade here, guys. So, hey, gave it a shot today. We'll see what happens. It's 10:21. That's all you can do in life, guys. Give it shots and see what happens, guys. NVIDIA, will it break the 117 here, or will it be right back up towards 117.60s? Definitely a play to make. All right, let's see what happens here. The opportunity there, and you can see now 3 attempts to break that 117. 1, 2, 3. Now the 4th attempt, and not doing it gets me a little bit weary that this is just going right back up. Always going to tell you guys both sides of the trade. Apple heading down, Nvidia heading down a little bit there. Let's see if the Qs can follow and take out that 481. That's why I'm still in the Vixie, because the truth is the Qs are right there. Just the Qs are the ones that if they start to ramp, yeah, just got to get out. Might take my first I'm opening myself up for that $500 to $600 hit down today, right? And that's another thing to think about. But the truth is, I just got to keep battling, guys. If I keep taking trades like this, keep setting myself up for these like $1,000 gains, at some point, I'm going to start going in the right direction. Not only in the right direction, but trying to get towards the funded account. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here, guys. Short everything. They're all going down. People are taking profits today. It very much could be, guys. It very much could be that type of day. It's Friday too, right? Who wants to be long the weekend? With a lot of concern out there. I don't know. But we just cut towards the 481 and then recover. Doesn't make me feel good. I just want to see a wipeout through that 481. See how you keep going to this 481 and then you hold it. Do you wipe out through that level? That's what we're looking for. And then it starts going back to yesterday's high. So not yesterday, it's Wednesday's high. Wednesday's high is what? 478. So we're still about, what, $3 from that if we start to break this 481. Look at the bounce there. That bounce. Crazy part is Nvidia's going down. Apple's going down. I see Tesla weak. Stock's near the top, but my Vixie is just dropping fast here, guys. This could be a shakeout, and that's where it gets really difficult. At least from what I'm seeing in the action, it tells me to hold it. But boy, oh boy, I could be wrong here, and it's going to cost me. It's going to cost me to find out here. That's the truth. Because I'm seeing Nvidia, and it still looks pretty weak. It just made a move to 117, but now trying to recover there. So I'm looking at that. I'm seeing Apple, and it's like kind of pretty weak here, but could recover at any point, right? So if you're looking at trades to the upside, these are the trades that I'd tell you guys to look at, right? I could be wrong here and just start getting hit here, and then these stocks just go right back up to the upside. So you got your potential here. Let's see what happens, guys. Getting close to getting stopped out, watching the action to see what happens in Nvidia and Apple. But definitely getting the pressure test right now. Also on Morgan Stanley at this point, I got to go ahead and cancel that stop loss or that stop ad. I'm just kind of holding it here. It did get to the 101, and that's going to be where my risk is right now. But we'll see if it starts to come down again, right? I need to get back into the green for me to push it on that Morgan Stanley. All right, going back to it, guys, really close to stop out here. It's just more about a matter of if the other tech companies come back. If the other tech companies come back, I'm getting wiped out here. And there's the cut down back to it. So the attempt here is on the Nvidia to go green again, and that's already going to it. So pretty close to wiped out here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and set the stop here. Could be losing into the 600s. Probably maybe a little bit more. I'm risking right now the 380s. About to set the stop there. Hands on the trigger. Unless I see the kind of the Nvidia go back through that 117. It ain't looking good there. Swing opportunities. I see MSOS starting to make a move to the upside. So if you're looking at that opportunity, I'll say out there. There's the Qs rejecting the 482s. Apple back down. Man, this one's a hard one today, guys. Hard one to hold, guys. I'll tell you the truth. Literally my hand, and you can see my hand is on the trigger. My hand is literally on the trigger. Like, literally, all I got to do is just lift this off. We'll see what happens here, man. The battle's on. Come on. What you gonna do? We're still like underneath the VWAP on the Qs, so I'm looking to see what happens here, but it ain't looking good. Might take a big hit here, guys. Fridays, man, they've been tough. They've been really, really tough. Friday's been the day that just been getting me hit hard on trying to catch swings and not catching the swings, right? The swings in momentum, guys. The swings in momentum. Right now, Apple trying to recover. So if you guys are looking for a play, that's one play I definitely keep a very close eye on. Market comes back up to the top end of the range, and I can see Apple breaking through the highs. So it's going to be a little bit of a battle here to see what happens in the Qs, but I'm watching that Apple. The battle, man. The battle is real right now between the Bulls and the Bears. They're trying to get it back up, but then it gets stuffed. So I'm looking for the real stuff move back down through the 481, and the Vixie just comes back roaring, right? So the way that I added on the Vixie today, that's one thing that I'm going to review, and I'll talk about that next week, guys. So there's always ways to learn, and I'm going to be looking at that. I'll talk to you guys about that next week. Like always, guys, we're going to continue pushing. We're going to continue getting after it. There's going to be times where we run into a little bit of a wall. Regardless, today we'll still end the week green, and that's all that matters, really. From there, it's about sizing up, trying to get after it, trying to get to that reward that we need to go ahead and get the funded account. That's the move. That's the battle now. All right, what will happen here in NVIDIA? Will we get the takedown? Apple's coming right back up to the upside here. The attempt to the break to the upside on Apple is there, 230. So I'm looking at it right now to see what happens, because it could easily just start to push higher. Tesla, the same thing, trying to recover the 240s here and could just start pushing right back up. So looking at NVIDIA, it's back towards 117s, but that's hit 117 a million times. I'm not seeing it break that right now, at least. So just keeping a really close eye here. The only thing that's keeping me in is that the Qs haven't really reclaimed, right? And that's the only thing that's really keeping me in right now. Qs, you could take a look at it here. I'll show you guys it. It just kind of just hanging out. It's just hanging out sideways right now. Oh, man. That's just how the market is sometimes, guys. It's difficult. That's for sure. Today is one of those days that I'm feeling it. It's not easy read. Let's just say that. 5-minute chart still rejecting that move above the 482s. You got up there for a slight second and then you rejected it. So looking to see if we can go back to the bottom end of this range, which is the 481. Apple starting to go higher. That doesn't make me feel good, but that's the only thing I can do is just stick to what I'm seeing. $117 appearing on NVIDIA. Can it break it? It keeps hitting this spot. There's 116.90s again. Can the Qs go through the low? Starting to get a little bounce back in the Vixie, but it's like literally, it's like back and forth right now, guys. Back and forth between the Bulls and the Bears right now. And a lot of that is I'm looking around and I'm seeing the way that NVIDIA is going. You just broke that. Now do you just keep it going down now? Let's see if NVIDIA goes through 116.50s. Come on, Qs, break that low. There we go, 481.20s. Let's go, let's go. Break that. And it bounces, guys. It bounces. The algos are keeping it there. There's either a big buyer, guys, or something going on there at this point. So I'm getting to the point where like everything in me is like, it needs to break 481 here. If not, I just got to get going. So let's go. Let's go. Break that 481. You see how it keeps holding up there? Hit 41.10, 41.07, 41.12, 481, right? At some point, this actually reverses off of that. So I'm looking at it. It's support until it isn't. But right now, it's definitely support. NVIDIA, what are you going to do to me? NVIDIA, come on, go through that low, NVIDIA. Let's go. Apple, you can see it's setting up for the bullish move. It's so frightening a little bit. A little part of me is like, scalp it on the long. So swing long right now on Apple wouldn't be a bad look. I could risk like $40 on the swing long to potentially make what? Maybe a buck or two on the upside. So I can make $200 on the swing trade side of things as a protection, like a hedge, right? It wouldn't put money into the day trade side of things, but those are things to think about, right? And so ways to look at hedging your battle, right? And this is one way to look at it. I'm not saying that you guys need to do that, but I do want to tell you guys. All right, GLMD, you're short on this? Halted, what do I do? I'm short on it. Rich, I'll talk to you about it, right? So in this case, if you're short it depends on what price you have, right? But if you're deep in the green, what you're going to do is it's going to stay there for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, this will reopen. So you can take a look at the 1 minute and think about 5 minutes from that when it will reopen. So if this halted at 10:29, it should be reopening at the 34 mark. So around the 34 mark, get ready to see that action happen. What I would do a lot of the times, and this is all up to you, is determine where's the resistance and support. Where'd you break down from? In my eyes, you broke down from around this 1075, 1070 level. So as long as that doesn't come back to me, I'm good. So I'd be looking for just a quick momentum break to the downside, maybe potentially putting out an order towards this low around the 966 or even lower down towards, let's say, $9. But we'll see what happens there. Look how it opens up there, gives you a little bit of a spike. Will it get back through that 1070s? There's that first downside. That's why I would have took that, maybe that 1060 there. It would have already given you that 1060, that 960. We'll see if it goes lower than that and keeps going towards another halt. After the third halt on the downside or on the upside, I usually get out, but that's all up to you. Now you're reopened. Now you can get in and out. Your determination. Take your choice, Rich. I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Q's tried to go through that 481 and reverse right off of that, guys. It's not looking good here for me. Keep getting reversals. NVIDIA keeps holding that 117. Now you're right back up in NVIDIA. It's a little frustrating because I was right there on the breakdown. Just seems like it's not giving it to me today. And now NVIDIA can just start to climb the party back up, guys. So if there's anything that looks good, actually doesn't look bad on the plus side of things. And that's a little frustrating to say that, as Apple already starting to make the move to the upside. And it's just how it is, guys. Sometimes I'm seeing it. I'm giving it the shot. And the second here, it could be the wipeout move. Got to be careful here. There's Q's right back down, man. It's so playing with me today, guys. It's just playing with me. This is a trap, man. This is trappy action. Just be careful out there, traders. Goes up, comes down. Goes up, comes down. Yo-yo markets, they call it. Attempting again to break the 481. Qs are climbing back. The Apple's climbing back. Apple's going green here, at least pushing up, but all the rest of them are on the downside. It is hard, man. Tesla's looking like it's about to get hit again on the downside. This is something else, man. Today is a hard trading day. That's for sure. Lost on Morgan Stanley, guys. It came back, but that doesn't mean that it's not done. It could definitely take the downside action. I'm going to go ahead and probably swing trade Morgan Stanley on the downside now that I'm out of it on this side of things, but we'll see what happens. Going to focus on the Vixie for right now. Definitely still want a position, but I also have the XLF, right? And so I have that in the swing that I can work. There's the attempted move down here. We'll see if we get it, right? Look at the 15-minute chart. Look at that. Now trying to break that 481 here. Can we get the actual break of the 481 down there into the 480s? Let's see it, man. It's just been a really tough day to try to see that break continuation here. Hourly lows are holding really well here. So that's another thing. That's that 480.50s. We need to see a break through that if we really see the breakdown today. And there's the reversal right off of that level again. And so it just gets very difficult to hold here as I'm in the red and seeing the action that's just like sweep back, sweep back, sweep back. Apple still looking good for the sweep back to the upside. Nvidia is still looking good for the sweep to the upside. That's what frustrates me here, guys, is that I'm getting the setups and it's just not making the move. When that happens, usually it just reverses fast. And look at that Nvidia back up through the trend line. It's not looking good there for me, guys. I could go longing the Nvidia, trying to make the move back towards like 1850s, maybe hedge some of this battle. But the truth is, I'm on the wrong side of the things right now, and the Qs just don't want to break down. And when they don't want to break, they start coming back towards the resistance. You can see it here on the 5-minute. It's tried multiple times to break down. And what are we seeing on the bottom end? A lot of wicks, a lot of wicks. So right now, I'm just watching like a trend line approach, which is the move that it comes back towards 482s, and then it starts to get out of this. So as long as it can hold this, we're still bearish, but still overall not looking bueno here at all. We'll see if it starts to push back there, gets towards the 482s, and then that's easily like the stop out for me. Look at the action coming in there, guys. Now we're definitely getting towards an up approach here. We'll see if Tesla turns back to the upside. But there's the SPY back towards 567.60s. Actually, SPY leading the up action right now. So that's something to think about, right? Nvidia is back through 117. Apple just recovered that 230, made a move to 230.60s. We'll look to see if that keeps going. But there's the Qs starting to climb back there, and that is going to be probably the curtain call in just a second here, guys, as I'm probably going to take a decent size hit there, right? So we'll see what happens. You guys can see it. I'm down about 305 right now. Will this get back there towards that 482? Let's see what happens here. As the Qs start coming back there, guys, definitely you guys can look for some trades out there. I wish you guys the best of luck a little bit later today. Definitely Apple coming back here now towards the 20, 30, 50s. I hope you guys enjoyed me giving at least both approaches, right? Not telling you guys that, oh yeah, the market's going to come down here. Nvidia looks horrible. No, I tried multiple times to break that 117. Look at that recovery of that 117. That's a good level to look at, right? So at this point, just going to go ahead and set the stop there. Just got to go ahead and get out in just a second here. Could put 75s, down about 320s right now. Definitely going to go ahead and take a hit here. Just need to go ahead and set the stop. There we go. Back there towards the 76 there. Going to give it 1 cent. 1 cent off the bid here in just a second here. Going to cut out. As long as nothing changes, it's not looking good here. But hey, just keeping a really close eye here to see if for any reason we get just quick downside. But it doesn't look good at all. There's the approach. Upside looks to come in here. We'll see what happens, guys. Definitely smash the like. All right, guys. Definitely a mixed noise type of day, and the Qs are still staying off the lows there. We'll see what happens, man. I'm trying to hang in here, but it doesn't look good. It looks like it's just about to recover there. So we've had about an hour down, right? It's definitely still on the red side because it hasn't cleared the VWAP, but a tough hold here. This is why I also got to start going for the bigger gains, because if I'm going to expand on the risk side of things, I got to expand on the reward side. Rich said, I hate Fridays. I'm with you, man. Lately, Fridays have not been good to me, man. The last 3 Fridays have not been good to me. So trying to hang in there and try not to be so biased towards Fridays, but it ain't looking good. We'll see, guys. Now I'm getting the downside to come back into Qs. Wouldn't you know it, man? It's just a difficult trade day. Difficult trade day by all means, guys. So just sticking to this Vixie trade because I'm still seeing now downside come into Tesla, back to the 117 on Nvidia. I mean, this is just ridiculous, guys. The yo-yo back and forth trying to trap traders. That's what I've seen throughout the whole day now. Just yo-yoing traders, both back and forth. Look at it, guys. It approaches these wicks and it just slows down. It's almost like there's a bigger trader here. And this is what happens sometimes where I tell you guys, you want to be trading with the big boys. I think the big boys are trading here off the hourly low, and they're trying to buy that hourly low up. And they're adding a lot of size on that pullback. So I'm watching here. Is this just profit taking, or is this an ad on 481's add, almost like an iceberg order, just filling and refilling at that 481 13s, where it doesn't matter what happens at that 481, it just takes the size, right? And so that tells me that you could still get quick sweeps to the upside. And of course, I'm not positioned to the upside here. So this is something to think about, right? I do have it on the swing trade side of things. So let's go take a really quick peek here. Probably down on the XLF. Yeah, down on the XLF. We'll see what happens on Picar. At least that's still in the green. That would be the stock that goes up for me on this action. And if it comes and breaks down, then the XLF starts to get into the green. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys. Just seems like the Qs are going to play with me all day long here today. So just seems like they don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. I'm just waiting for it here. It's 10:43, guys. Smash the like. You guys enjoying the action? What's up out there, team? That B fly or that leaf fly already down to 274. So what's up with NNE? I want to take a quick peek at NNE here. NNE to 13, guys. 13. Definitely missed this play today. Bad play by me on not being able to play these. We'll see what happens on SMR and some of these other ones. If there's anything that I should have probably had a swing trade on today, it's these names. A little frustrating on my end. It's hard to do it all, right? And that's the truth. Running into a little problem here of trying to do it all, the swing trading and day trading. But definitely these NNE, SMR, really good opportunity. Been talking about this for a while now, right here on the show. So I hope you guys enjoy me talking about things like that and themes that you guys can jump on. Maybe I didn't trade this the best, but doesn't mean that you didn't do that. And you could have definitely gone after this SMR. We were looking at it when it was down here. We were starting to look at it, and I created this on when? I created this on August 21st. Updated it on the 10th when we started to come back above this level. And the 10th was right here. So it's not like I was cherry picking, guys. I was talking about it when SMR was down at $8. Now we're towards $11. This is why I like the swing trade mentality, because that's what I should have been going after on SMR. And I could just been hanging out as this starts to really take off. So really nice approach there in SMR, just not an approach that I was able to execute on the swing side of things, as I did get cut out there at the 850s on that day, right here on the 11th. A little frustrated by that, but hey, it's how it is sometimes, guys. Takeout market today. Yeah, it happens all the time, guys. Up on Rivian on the short side. I wish you the best of luck. Profit taking all my positions, including the longs. Hey, take the money and run type of day, and take the money and run type of market right now, as the market's just chopping back and forth, trying to chop up the bullish traders, trying to chop up the short traders, chopping up everybody today. And that's the way the market loves to do it. The market loves to hurt where it can hurt the most. And today it seems like it's hurting on both sides of the trade. Smash the like out there, guys. We'll see what ends up happening, what ends up playing out here. Really, I'm not leaning any direction anymore. I'm just watching now. It's either going to be a big loss there on the Vixie or a big win. That's the way it goes sometimes. But hey, sometimes it's as simple as that. And that's what I'll look for. If it breaks down here and starts going towards the 480 50s, yeah, I could still get the move there on the Vixie. We'll wait and find out here. All right, guys. I think in just a second here, I'm going to start to wrap it up around 10:50-ish. We start to wrap up here. We'll see if we get the breakdown here. It's just hanging out, man. Looking for that breakdown, but do I feel like it's going to happen this time? No. I'm at the point where I'm like, I'd be surprised, right? On both ends, if it actually makes a breakdown or breakout. Apple's continued to climb too. That's the crazy part. It's going against the market right now. Is Apple. Nvidia still weak, but Tesla's still catching some buyers at the low end of things. MSOS going right back down. Success trying to break through the high of 22.95, but it's been up there plenty of times. So we'll see if we actually do get continued downside to come into the market here. Can we break through the 481 here, guys? Been waiting for it, but no move just yet. Hands are tied, guys. Hands are tied. The hands are tied to the chest. I'm not trying to make any moves right now. Just trying to watch it. Trying to watch it. An apple a day will keep the poor man away. Double fisting beer type of day. Definitely. Sit on the hands. Yes, Rich. Sit on them, man. Just sit on them. There's the 480 breakdown, 481 breakdown. But can it continue, man? Can it continue, or will this just be a wick? It goes right back above 481s. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I can't. There's a bigger trader there, guys, and he's feeling big. The only question is, can he get taken out? Can the traders take him out, man? There's too much wicks there for this not to be buying pressure. So there's some buying pressure at the 481. I ain't selling pressure at the 481. I'll tell you that much. Somebody wants to buy that 481. Can it get stuffed? I hope that Goldman Sachs trader right now is buying that 481 and then all of a sudden he's going to get stuffed. But I can tell you right now, there's something going off that 481 that I'd definitely be paying attention to. Something going on that. Look at it, man. It's like a magnet. That's how it goes, man. I stared at Apple yesterday and just watched it go up, and it didn't do anything. Yeah. And you didn't do anything. I hear you, Rich. I hear you. It happens, man. So Success broke the 23s, but then just pulled back. And then look at the Qs, guys. It's right back up, right? So this is where it just gets tough, man. It gets tough to even hold. Look at the Qs coming back, man. It's just, and it's not on a breakdown or a break up, right? It's just like kind of just this little shake. Shake, 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 shake. And I don't want to throw out the stop, because if I throw out the stop right here, that's how I get hunted. Easily. I could put the stop right now and I can almost guarantee it. I'd get hit in like a minute. So I'm not going to put the stop out here, but I'm just going to watch it. And then eventually, if I need to get out, I'll just get out manually here. So I think that's the way to approach it right now. The Qs could still break down. It's just more, it just doesn't want to go through. But support until it isn't. We'll see if it isn't. We'll see if we finally get a downside actual continuation move, which we have not yet gotten. But just going to stick around, guys. All right, but that's going to do it for me, guys. It's 10:51. I'm going to go ahead and just get out of here, probably with the downside action here. We'll see. Can the Qs make the move? Let's see it. There's a little bit of an attempt to the downside, and look how it just stops. It just literally just stops there, guys. Stops there. It's impressive, man. It's impressive to see this down action in the Qs and see the Vixie not up above 12s. concerns me. Just shows me that you could start ramping back to the upside. $116.80s on Nvidia, but could always recover with 117s. I'm watching to that to see if it keeps going down. Just one of those days, guys, where it's going to be a complete battle type of day, and then they could just start roaring back, right? And then just start making a big up move in lunchtime. That's where I'm a little bit concerned, is that are we just going to get a lunchtime move? Man, you Qs, you really did it to me today, guys. You guys got me as slow as possible here. Now we're getting a little bit of the downside leak there. I don't even know if to trust this or not, but it'll help my Vixie at least. You guys can see it starting to make an up move there. We'll see what happens if we really get the breakdown, guys. I took my shot today, guys. We'll see what happens later on if I'm able to make my profits, and I'll definitely ride it up there towards kind of the 1220s, 1230 area, because if this is real breakdown, then it can go further than that. But I'll probably just take the money and run if I can get towards that nice $1,000 gain, especially since I risked it today towards 600. I got to be making the gains. It's all about profit to loss ratio for me. And as you start to increase in risk, if you don't increase in rewards, then you're just ruining all the mathematical advantage. That's the one thing that I learned this week. This was the size up week, guys. I sized up. I made $1,000 gain. I did have like kind of a $300 down day, but just need to keep battling it, guys, and taking next levels to the next step up, right? It's not easy as you start to size up. You guys saw me take 4,000 shares this week on one of the positions. So that's definitely a bigger size position for me. I'm going to keep battling. We'll see what happens there in Vixie. I will be back on Monday, of course. Keep your eyes on the action. We'll wait and find out what happens there. It's definitely a day where you're just trying to just stop out traders left and right. So be safe out there, traders. I wish you the best of luck today. We're going to take our weekly gains. Yes, because we still got some weekly gains. And we're going to take that money bag and we're going to get the hell out of here. At least I will. I'll see you guys back on Monday. Smash the like. And always, guys, check out Trade the Pool for more opportunities. And there'll be some things coming soon, guys. I know that there have some things in the works right now, some things that are really exciting. So I'll see you guys back on Monday, and smash the like.